Hello everybody! Welcome to Agashe Review, where I review movies, dramas that you don't want to waste your time watching. I'll give you synopsis, shorts review along with my thoughts and opinions, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Now let's go into the review. Hello everybody, Agashe here today. So today I'm going to be doing a Chinese movie review, and the movie is called The-Yin-YangMaster Dream of Eternity. And obviously this has been hyped up and everything because it's Lun and Mark being in the same movie, and everybody's so excited for it. So it was actually on Netflix and I was like so excited, and then finally it came out, and there's just like so much drama came out at the same time, so I finally got to watch it. But by the way, no promotion to Netflix. I just crazy fan of Lun and just watched it, and obviously Mark is in there too, and he's an excellent actor too. So I'm going to be going over the recap of the whole movie and just giving you guys my thoughts about it and just what I understood, because honestly I was looking up reviews and stuff like that. A lot of people are kind of confused in terms of what was actually going on. So I understood this recap of it. It's just what I understood of it, so if I am wrong, correct me in the comments below. So as for our cast, we have Mark playing Qingming, and then Lun playing Boya, and then Wang Du playing He Shuye, and then Olivia, there we go, Olivia Wang playing Princess Qingping, and Jessie Lee playing Long Ying, and there's tons of other people too. And as for the synopsis, this film is an adaptation that is set in the mystical fantasy world where humans and supernatural beings coexist together. It tells the story of how this cosmologist or something like that, Qingming, he and his friend Boya, who they start off bad, but they end up, going through weird cases together and becoming friends. And in the adventures they experience, they actually uncover a secret that has been hidden for so many centuries and end up saving the human world and everything in the time period they're living in. So recap on the movie. The movie starts us off with young Qingming with his master Chongqing, and he's struggling to learn the protection spell, and his master tells him that who does he think of when he's learning that protection spell, because that's the whole point of the protection spell. It's called protection. You want to protect someone, and Qingming says he wants to protect his mother, and so his teachers are like, think about it, and he keeps trying, and it flashes us to Qingming where he's all grown up already, and he still cannot cast that protection spell. Just then this the serpent, which is the evil snake, starts to move, and the master sends him Qingming off to safety, and the master summons his spirit servants to help him, and all along his other student came back to help him along with Qingming, and they try to defeat the serpent. And all these things like that, and they're failing at doing it, and then at the last moment, like the serpent throw its poisonous dart at them, and the master yells out, use your protection spell, and they're supposed to do that. It's kind of like Doctor Strange-ish kind of way, and they're supposed to do that to protect them. Well, Qingming, who has never been able to cast this protection spell, fails, and he is about to get hit with his poisonous dart. And what happens? His teacher puts the protective spells in front of him instead, and his master, he dies from it. So he's injured, and they need to seal the serpent back away again. So one of the spirit servants said he takes up his life, and he locks up the serpent away again. Now the master is dying, and he's going to vanish and everything, and his last words to Qingming was, take this sword, and you are going to become the Yin-Yang-Master, who's supposed to go to the imperial city to stop the serpent from resurfacing again. And Qingming, he feels very guilty because he hasn't been able to do anything, but his master's just like, you're great, you will do great, you're learning and everything, you will do fine, and people will remember your name and going down in legends and history. So he ends up taking the sword from his master, and he leaves to the imperial city. And when he gets there, he meets Boya, who is playing the flute on top of the house, and he's playing, and he hears a demon playing the lute. It's like this guitar, Chinese guitar thingy, and at the same time Qingming arrives, and he hears it too. They both go and capture this demon, and apparently this demon has been longing for his lost loved one, and he stole this lute to just play to remember his loved one. Bo-Yang doesn't give this demon an explanation, or does not allow him to explain anything. He tries to catch this demon, and his duty is to kill all demons, and he explains later that his mother was killed by one. That's why he got raised by the temple, because his mom died when he was young, and so he vowed to end all the demons. While trying to catch this demon, Qiming interferes and gets in the way, and then the demon gets away. And Qiming and Bo-Yang gets into this battle for a bit, and Qiming returns to the Lun and everything to Bo-Yang, and he leaves. When Bo-Yang returns to the temple, he was summoned to the palace and by the empress. Upon reaching the palace, he ends up meeting Long Yi and Qiming, who also were summoned there. They're like the masters who is supposed to revive the four guardians, who is supposed to protect the imperial city from stopping the serpent from escaping. So it's like throughout centuries and stuff like that, decades or stuff like that, the serpent resurfaces, so they had to awaken the four guardians to build a barrier around it so that the serpent cannot escape the imperial city into the other city and just stay there, and they have to like pretty much get rid of the serpent to go back away, or to die, or stuff like that, and so there's actually one more master who's supposed to join them, but he's according to He Shuyin, who is like one of like the imperial person in the palace. He's like, this master is old, so he's just he went to rest early. So it gives kind of a suspicious for us right there. And then Qiming meets He Shuyin, and he's confused and he's shocked because the guy is the resemble of his master and brings emotions to him, but to him he's like, well, my master is dead, he just looks like my masters. But the three masters, Qiming, Bo-Yang, and Lu Ye, they were like all suspicious of each other in the beginning, and they like planted like magic bugs, herring bugs, magic stuff like that in each other's room. And they did that the night before, and the next morning they learned that the old master that was supposed to join them, the fourth one, he died. And He Shuyin finds it impossible that how did he die, because He Shuyin put a protected spell over the palace so no demon can get in. And so because with him dying, the empress has entrusted He Shuyin to be the fourth master, to join the rest of them to revive the all the four guardians within like the next 3 days or something like that. So in trying to find out who the murderer is, they've been putting like, because the three of them put listening aids into each other's room or something like that the night before, they're kind of like backing up each other, like, no, I was listening on them, nothing happened. So Long Ying uses her she has these magic tadpoles who can sense who is the demon, and it swam towards Qiming, which Qiming explains that he is a half and half. His mother is a fox demon, but he did not murder this old master. A demon bug was planted on him just so that the tadpole would swim towards him, and then all of a sudden the tadpole started to swim towards the princess, which Long Ying apologized and said, oh, my tadpole we've been traveling for a long time, that's just probably mistaken. So that's like a hint to us right there why they swam towards the princess. They only go towards who is demons. And then within the next 3 days of capturing demons to feed the spirits to the guardians to revive them, Boya, Long Yi, and He Shuyin has been working hard to capture demon, while Qiming is just sitting around mingling in his room. And towards the last day, he tells Boya that like he doesn't need to work as hard as that. He just needs one demon spirit that is strong enough, has a strong enough desire that he could just revive his guardian like that. So he just needs one. He doesn't need to go like that, So just then he realizes that there is a demon around them somewhere. So he rushes. It's coming from the princess room. So they rush to the princess room, him and Boya, and they find the princess unconscious. And Qiming is he realized she has a demon in her, like that went into her. So he's going to get the demon out, but he tells Boya that whatever is going to happen after this, once I get this demon out, do not listen to me. So Qiming was able to get the demon out of the princess and into him. So he pretty much like chants his stuff and sucks it out and everything like that. Afterwards, he kind of turns pale and he's like starts to sweat. And he asks Boya that to give him water. Boya is about to do it, but Boya's like, I'm supposed to not listen to you. So I'm supposed to do the opposite of what you're saying. And so they get into a fight, and Boya realized that the demon spirit that Qiming sucked up is like taking over him, controlling him. So Boyan does get the spirit out of Qiming's blood from controlling him, and it's like coming out of his like forehead. And then like Boyan, like, you know, like Qiming was like, you know, he was able to control himself again with Boyan's help. And he's all like, pull it out of my forehead so I'll be okay. But Boyan's all like, I'm not supposed to listen to you, you know. And then Qiming went unconscious again. So Boyan took the, you know, he's just like, okay, I'll pull. He pulled the demons out, and Qiming wakes back up, and he just like kills the spirit, and then takes that demon spirit, and yeah, voila, like what he said, he just need one with strong desire to revive his guardian, and he did. So later that evening, Long Ying, she sends a listening bug to the princess room, and she saw and heard something she shouldn't have. So she wants to make sure that she's correct in terms of what she was like as eavesdropping is correct, to confirm that she's correct. She gets into a fight with her He Shuyan, and He Shuyan ends up stating that Long Ying is trying to kill the empress. Qiming and Boyan comes running in, and all four of them are up against each other, and Qiming and Boyan doesn't know who to trust because they're like, oh my god, what's going on? And just then there's like this hair demon that flies in, grabs Long Yin by the neck, and drags her away. The princess comes in running in and checking on the bed and calling for the physician that to come check out the empress. Something has happened to her. Qiming was able to cut off the hair to free Long Yin from struggling, but you know, she was gonna die, and she said a few words to Qiming before she died. Now here's the thing, the strangle on her neck, the mark was similar to how the old master, the fourth one, died. So she means all like, oh, there is a demon hiding among the protected spell that they're in the palace. So anyways, he goes and tells Boyan afterwards to side with him, and because the princess isn't who they think she is. Boyan doesn't buy it because he's all like, I've known the princess for a long time, and she's lived 18 years outside of the palace before she became here. Qiming is trusting that He Shuyan is correct because he learned that He Shuyan is the spirit servant that the master sent, his late master sent to protect the princess in the palace. With both disagreeing with each other, they're gonna go their own way to find out the truth. Boyan ends up giving Qiming his magic listening ears to call him whenever he needs help. Qiming does the same thing for Boyan and gives him like this yin-yang like paper where it's a way he can control He Shuyan, because He Shuyan is a spirit servant. That's how they control them, with the paper. And he can also have this eye paper where wherever he is, he could call for Qiming's help. And so Qiming goes to see the princess while Boyan goes to see He Shuyan, and Qiming brings a Feng Yu a sword that the late master gave to him that was entrusted to him. He brought the sword to see the princess, and the hair demon came and slit her, grabbed her by the throat, and killed her. Qiming chases after the hair demon, and he learns the truth about everything, and everything starts to make sense to him, and he runs back because Boyan is in danger. Running back, he finds Boyan is unconscious, the princess and He Shuyan is gone. Waking up Boyan, and they go and find the princess and He Shuyan. So what happened is Qiming's late master told him that this serpent lives in the empress, while Long Ying's last word to Qiming was the empress is the princess. So we learned that the princess is the empress is the princess, all stuff like that, and she is an immortal because she has this serpent living in her. So the princess and He Shuyan has been deceiving the city for so long, faking a paper doll empress which He Shuyan controls, and the empress has been living for centuries as an immortal while the serpent is living in her, and she has been faking living different people all these centuries just to keep living because the serpent feeds off her or something like that. And so she's been living outside for a while, and when she as like different people for over the centuries and everything, and when she changed her name and everything like that, and she became a maid in the palace, she attracted the emperor, and the emperor married her, and when the emperor passed away, she became the empress. And now she's supposed to be old already. The empress is supposed to be old, but the thing is, she's immortal, she doesn't age. So she created the princess, where she brought the princess from outside, and then He Shuyan and her created a paper doll fake where they control that's the empress, and she's old, and the princess is the person she looks like, you know, if any of that makes sense. But and so what happened was the princess, the empress, she fell in love with Qiming's late master, and he had to leave, and he named the sword Feng Yu because that was the name she was originally born with before she became immortal and everything like that, and she gave it to him pretty much as her token of love. And then what is it? So she's been in pain all these years and all stuff like that, and Hosuyen sees that she's in pain, so he wants to free her from that, and he says to transfer the serpent to him so he can be immortal. And then but what he doesn't understand is that like the serpent is like her, basically, it's still in her, so it don't matter if the serpent snake comes out of her and he swallows it, it's still her. And so he was going to have them escape the imperial city because he never revived his guardian. So basically only three guardian built their barriers while the fourth one didn't, so they can escape. And so she realized that she can't do that, and she can't just do that and all stuff like that. So she's like, let's just die together so that we'll be together. So she like have them both jump off the giant serpent as they're trying to escape. And then but the thing is, you remember, they're immortal now, so pretty much they don't die when they jump off. You're immortal, you ain't gonna die, because for her, she should know, she's been trying to die so many times, she can't die. And so the serpent is like awakened, the big one is trying to escape, which what is it? Bo-Yang and Qiming try to do their best to stop the serpent from leaving the imperial city, because if it does, it's gonna attack other cities. And so they start fighting, and they need to get that barrier up so that it can block everything. Bo-Yang gives up himself to go revive the guardian, where he's gonna use his energy, and he tells Qiming that if I do die and I don't ever wake up again, please summon me to be your spirit servant. So he goes and revives the fourth guardian, and then he ends up turning into that, his energy spirit went into that guardian. And here's the freaking hilarious part: if you guys are fans of Ashes of Love, he becomes a phoenix. But he's like the black one or whatever like that, and he goes and fight with Hosuyen. And then so Qiming says that it's a very difficult fight to win, and so he goes and meet the Empress, and he brings the sword again. So she's like in her own little world now, and he goes and meet her, and he brings her to where his master, the memory of he had with his last master. So basically the words that the master was giving to Qiming in the beginning of like, you're gonna be a legend, you're gonna do well, stuff like that, it was not meant for him, it was meant for the princess, the Empress. And so she got to see everything, for the last, what his last words were to her. And so it's like, she realized that it don't matter, the love of her life is long gone, and Hosuyen isn't him, he just wants to protect him, and he must do everything to do that way. So she's all like, no, it's not him. So realizing that, her loved one is gone already, she was just like, she needs to stop Hosuyen, and in order to weaken the serpent, she has to, slit her throat. So or like kill herself. So she like, slit her throat, kill herself, and Hosuyen, like, he's like upset, and he launches the poison dart from the serpent and towards Qiming and Bo-Yang. Well, Bo-Yang's body is still there, and the guardian, that which is still Bo-Yang too, he comes and blocks it all off, and he vanishes and shattered away. And Qiming throws the Feng Yun's sword, and it went straight into Hosuyen, but he comes back and he takes it out, and he tries to kill Bo-Yang, which Qiming stands in the way, and the sword still went through him. Now Qiming finally really realized what his master was saying about the protection spell. He has to want to protect, and in order to want to protect, he can be able to activate the spell. Wanting to protect Bo-Yang so bad, he activated the spell. So with that, they kill the serpent, and with Hosuyen and the princess and everything. So they killed this serpent, and the Hosuyen and the princess is dead. The city recovers, Bo-Yang wakes up, and and everything is all better, and things are going okay now, and Bo-Yang and Qiming are in good terms, and they agree that they're gonna be friends, because they had a little time where they were actually together and talking and getting to know each other. So they're like, the next time the next serpent resurfaces again, we'll fight again, which who knows what that's gonna be. Decades from now, we're still gonna be together. Qiming leads us to his home, and Bo-Yang sends him a farewell message guiding him home safely. And just when we think that's the end, now we get that Long Yin, who is put in a coffin. Her eye starts to move. She's about to wake up, and it ends right there. So it brings us to a possible sequel that the next serpent is going to be her, because apparently from what Qiming's master says is it lives within a woman. So like they said, the white snake, it's always a woman. Yeah, all stuff like that. You know, white snake, white dragon's a woman. But yeah, so that ends it for us for the movie. And honestly, it's a bit confusing in parts I try to understand. It's a bit confusing, but you know, I understood what the best I can, and like, you know, they really just went straight to the point and everything like that. So they didn't really drag us as long, but you know, like to me, I was really bothered about like Chi-Ming, like he's not strong, so it really like bothered me, like but in a way it's supposed to be like that, because in like how, you know, you look at it, he hasn't been able to master anything, you know, and he doesn't know anything yet, and because he was still struggling in the beginning to even do the protection spell, and eventually he learns, because it's like the whole point, like his teacher said, you have to want to protect, you know, in order to be able to do these things, and if you don't have that in you, you won't be able to, you know, and he eventually realizes that he's able to do it. So honestly, I watched it for Tang Lung. I actually really enjoy his acting, and I love watching any of his movies or dramas. He's just great, and he's just fantastic. So I gave this a shot, and like I was just so excited for it, and I gave it a shot. I watched it, and yeah, you really see a lot of like Doctor Strange in it, and like I think I was reading an article about it that, like, you know, they got pinned for it because it's like everything they were doing was pretty similar to what Doctor Strange was doing. So that was kind of like, oh whoa, like they really took Doctor Strange's like idea and everything like that. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Apparently there's like a different one, like the Yin-Yang-Master, like a different title, and this is based off of a book, you know, so it's like, I guess it's like multiple books of it, and so you could basically do whichever one, but this one is for the Dream of Eternity. So I don't know, if you guys have not seen it, do check it out. I really like it. I don't know what else to say. I was just so excited for it, so when it came out, I just watched it. Even though there's some confusing part, I did my research to try to understand, so this is the best my understanding of it. It was really good, and obviously Tang Lung is always amazing at acting in these dramas like this, which is really good to watch. And you know, to see Mark Chow just be like a supporting, like he's the main character too, but it's like supporting Tang Lung, who is a rising star too. So it's actually really nice to see the two of them together. And before this movie came out, I was actually watching them on Happy Camp together, and it was just like hilarious to see the two of them, and it seems like they really got really close just acting like this, and they were able to do so well. So if they do pick up and, you know, do another one to continue off of this one, I really hope they do bring the two of the guys back, because they did really well. They had a good chemistry off screen and on screen, so they did really well in terms of acting their characters. So if they do bring it back where Long Yi is the next serpent, please bring them back, because it'll be great to watch again. But if you guys have not checked out this movie, do check it out, and I will see you guys in the next review.